Joining us now on the program is Darell Red Campbell Jr., the Performing Arts Summer Camp Program Director at the Union's Keys to Life on today's edition of the Megacast. Darell, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey man, thanks for having me here, man. So cool to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on the program today. For those that may not be familiar with this summer camp, tell us about the camp and what kids will experience and what they will learn over the course of
All
the
right,
next several weeks if they're joining in.
cool. It's a 5-week summer camp at the Northwest Activity Center. We call it Keys to Life. It's a performing arts summer camp where we do songwriting, beat making, acting, and dancing, all to get to a final musical at the end of the camp, which is July 30th. So we start on the 26th, end on the 30th. 5 weeks of intense training on those four subjects rather. Sorry, dancing, acting, beat making, and songwriting. And we do a play at the end. It's an original play that we write. And the kids have an amazing time just learning those things. Half the day is performing arts until 12 o'clock. And then after that, until 3 o'clock, we do life skills, which is a big thing for all of our kids and just people in the community in general. We just teach abstinence and drug prevention and just how to make good decisions and how to be a great person in society. So that's what we do for half of the day. The other half, we do performing arts. And then we end it in a big play. And it's amazing. This is our 10th year of camp. And we're just looking forward to some really cool stuff with these guys.
So you mentioned, Red, the 10th year of this camp going on. It's happening again. It begins actually next week
Yeah.
from June 26th through July 28th. It's a day camp, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. More information can be found on the Yunion.org. That's THEYUNION.org for more information. So what did kids get out of this camp? What have you noticed, or has the team noticed at the Union over the last 10 years of running this that really shows the impact it can have on a kid over the course of those 5 weeks?
So a lot of our kids are beginners. Most of our kids are beginners. They've never had a lot of experience doing with songwriting or beat making or acting and things like that. So we do a lot of things to get them out of their shell and trying new things. Experience is one of those things that just like kind of broadens your horizon and opens your mind to new things and new opportunities. So we just like to give that experience time to have that experience, and then they just try new stuff. That's one thing. And then through that experience, like they just gain confidence. A lot of our kids become workers in the camp. So after 14 years old, then they get a job and they're going to college now using the skills that they learned through camp. Then giving them the confidence and just like the life skills to navigate through those things that they go through in high school and even in college. So I think those are some big things that they learn from our camp.
Yeah, for the performing arts, it's so interesting. We often focus on the actual art itself as being that focal point of the results that we see on the other side of these creative endeavors. But especially for these young kids, especially in this age group that you're focusing on, teaching performing arts, whether it is songwriting or beat making or producing a musical, can have life lessons involved that can span them, as you said, throughout their childhood and
Yeah.
even beyond.
And they get a community of other young kids doing the same thing. Like my best friends are people that I met back in programs when I was 13 and 12 years old, and like they were the best men in my weddings and things like that. So those things, being able to have a community to try new things and have a safe space just to figure it out. Like we all need that, right? And so at 11, 12, and 13 years old, they get a cool community to try things and just expand their horizon, get new experiences. So that's super huge for us. And we don't focus so much just on the performing arts. Like that's almost like a carrot that we dangle. Everybody has a favorite song, and we teach them things about musicals and things like that. But it's the life skills. We all need life skills, and so having a safe space to talk about things that they're having feelings about, or just navigating from middle school to high school. My God, that's just a huge thing too. So yeah, just having the safe space to figure those things out is what we're all about.
And having that safe space too to tap into their creativity and build that creativity that so often is not necessarily eliminated over the course of their childhood, but tends to get crushed over time. This helps build that back up and use it in ways that they can build other life skills outside of the performing arts.
Yeah, if they have the performing arts and then we can teach the life skills to help sustain that stuff, then like you don't become a starving artist, right? You become an artist who has life skills to figure out how to keep being a performing arts student, a performing artist. So yeah, that's super huge for us, is just giving the opportunity and the experience to just think about things differently. And even in performing arts, it's not just about being an actor or a dancer or a songwriter. Like there's other career paths to find in that. You could be a manager. You could be, behind the scenes with things. You could be a tech person. And so we like to be able to show those things and give the opportunity to figure it out where, you may not have that opportunity anywhere else. You don't have to be an actress. You could be a writer. You could be a songwriter. You could be a lighting director. And so being able to figure out those career paths at 11, 12, and 13 can make you like the LeBron of those things, So that's really, really, really big for us.
Joining us on the program today is Red Campbell Jr. He is the Performing Arts Summer Camp Program Director at the Union's Keys to Life program. You can find more information on the summer camp and other programs through the Union's Keys to Life by visiting theyunion.org. That is the Union, YUNION.org for more information. Red, who are these summer camps available to, and when is the time frame for people if they want to get their kids involved in this 5-week camp?
Cool. Applications are still open. Camp doesn't start until Monday, but the sooner you get in, the better. We have scholarships for Detroit residents who identify with risk factors in school. So whether it be like truancy or like just having hard time in school with anything like that, if parents identify their children with that we have scholarships available. And those scholarships are available on first come, first served basis. And we still have some of those available now. So you want to get those, as soon as possible. Camp registration will close on Saturday. And so just a few more days to register your kids. We have a few more spots available. And I mean, if we fill up before then, I can't say anything, this broadcast is a little late, but we've got just a few more slots available, open to anybody, but we have scholarships available for Detroit residents who identify with different risk factors.
The website to find more information is theyunion.org, THEYUNION.org/camp. If you're watching on your screens, you're seeing that pop up every now and then at the bottom of the screen. If you're listening on our radio partners, civiccentertv.com/Megacast, you'll see this interview available to you on demand later on in the day after our live show, and get the link right there as well. Joining us on the program is Red Campbell Jr., the camp's program director at the Union's Keys to Life Performing Arts Summer Camp. And in terms of the impact across time, what have you and others from this camp seen in terms of how this has really had an impact on the youth of Detroit and the local area?
The cool thing is now that we're in Northwest Activity Center, we're in a hub where we can just reach out to different children or different people just in this community. So that's a cool thing. We used to be at Wayne State partnering with the theater and dance department, but now here being at Northwest Activity Center, we're in a community where some of these families have not had musical experience or may not have it in their schools. So that's a cool thing, just being here in this space. Also, we get, like, I keep using this word experience, but people having new experiences broadens their horizons, broadens their mind, changes their thoughts about themselves. And so being able to offer those experiences and give a young person an opportunity to try something new is so huge. And we've been able to see some young people. We were on the news earlier, and we had some young people who were with me who have scholarships to college and things because they were able to try stuff here at camp. Even there's some artists who have been discovered here. They didn't know that they could write songs, didn't know they were such great singers, and we kind of help them navigate those things. And as they become an 18 and 19-year-old high school graduate, now you can be a real artist and help put out music. And even in the beat making class, we put out a mixtape where there's all produced by things that people wrote in camp. And so you'll never forget that experience at 12 and 13 when you put out music. You had it streamed and it was on the SoundCloud page and things like that. So it's all about experience, man. It's all about being able to try new stuff, and we help people navigate through those things.
Yeah, they're building these skills, they're exploring these interests, but who are they doing that with? Who are teaching these kids these different skills and these different performing arts?
That's great. We have industry professionals. We have a beat making teacher who has been, toured with Charlie Wilson and done things with Eminem, and myself too. I've done things with Eminem and Royce 5'9" and a bunch of different artists. I'm a touring artist and musician myself. Our songwriting teacher was on Beyonce's songwriting team. Our acting teacher is a Howard student who's just got all this bright information, and she's got this network of people. She used to be in Detroit Youth Choir, and like so they're getting experience with people who are industry professionals doing it, and also been through camp. Like so, they had the camp experience and figured out things and how to navigate in the city, and they've got tools that that are ingrained in them that are the same as like what the kids are going through. So they kind of relate to them too. The life skills teachers are people who are in the community and are like family to us. Like that's the other thing about the union here. Everything just becomes a big family. Like these are my, little cousins and nieces and nephews now. And oh, my son's in the camp too. So like we are family and we become family, and the network is just insane. It's out of this world, man.
And so for you, Red, and your colleagues, how does that make that satisfaction of those aha moments you so often see with kids when they're in these sort of experiences and they're in these sort of learning opportunities, to see them reach that point that you've been at, that others that have been at, that have gone through this camp and are now teaching at this camp and working in this sector in the economy? What are those moments like for you?
Amazing. Like, so I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have amazing mentors. I had Marcus Belgrave. I had amazing football coaches when I was 11 and 12 years old. The mentors that I had helped scope me into what I am today. When I graduated high school, I went straight on tour because had amazing mentors who just needed musicians. And so now that I'm able to be that person, to be able to have experiences of my own and be able to give those back to the young people is like the most gratifying thing in the world. I would rather do that than tour at this point. Like my last, huge date that I did was the inauguration for our president a couple years ago. And I was like, I would rather be at home, and to be able to give these opportunities to the young people that are coming up, is almost a monster that feeds itself too, because now I get to keep teaching and they need jobs. I can find jobs and just help create those experiences for them too. So it's an amazing feeling. It's almost better than playing for me. So yeah.
For other creatives that may want to get involved in something like this, excuse me, in the future, what advice do you have for them about just how satisfying this can be to help that next generation of creatives, or just even that next generation in their home community, to find these different interests and build these different skills?
That's actually something that I teach, is that remember at some point we needed somebody to help us. And when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, when I had the mentors that I had, they helped me. But realizing now as the adult helping, they're helping me too, because I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to do things that, sometimes it's called entry level jobs or things like that, or, gigs that I don't want to be doing. I can teach and hand off to other people. So it's a kind of a thing that kind of helps yourself as a musician or an engineer or a writer or anything that, the industry that you're in. If you give back and teach the other people, the younger people, you just automatically create these like coworkers now who have more energy. They're more vibrant. They don't have as many holdbacks as us. They're 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. They don't have kids and other bills and things like that. So they can stay out all day, And so they can do things that we can't. It's almost like you become an octopus who has all these hands now and these tentacles that you can reach out different places because you have like almost trained a team to do things with you. And so as an artist, if you have young artists that you're helping out, you become a songwriter with them. They get to do more shows that you don't do. Their ears to the street, so they're apprised to a genre of things that we kind of find out secondhand. They're living through it, and so as an engineer, or like I said, as a creative, it kind of helps you to teach, to reach back, and then you also automatically build in a fan base. As an older person, if you have younger people who are automatically supporters of yours, then that becomes your street team. That becomes your, I'm kind of giving out some of my intellectual property now, but yeah, it's a thing that kind of just helps you help yourself. You don't have to work as hard.
You can find more information on theunion.org/camp and find ways that you can sign up for the camp and get involved yourself, or just to check out some of the great work they've been doing over there. Red, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. And again, you can find things at theunion.org, which is THEYUNION. and the camp I'm sorry, the lights went off here. I'm sorry, I'm in the office. But yeah, yeah, that's where you can find more information about the camp. And yeah, we'd love to have you.